Okay. Hi, I'm Martha with OurBrainBank. I work with our founder, Jessica Morris, who has started an absolutely incredible movement. And every day I am learning new things and meeting with absolutely brilliant people. And I think really Jessica has started something that has a real potential to do something great to help people with glioblastoma. Ed, would you like to say a couple of words?
Well, now you've thrown me in it. Well, you know, I've lived with her for 37 years, I think it is, 84. Yeah, that's 37. And, you know, over 37 years, you don't have quite the highs and lows that other people have because it's a 37-year conversation that's been going on between us. But in that time, I've seen her strengths, huge strengths, and her compassion and empathy for people, which always attracts sort of so many interesting people into our lives. And, you know, the way she's dealt with the last 5 years are kind of the culmination of her extraordinary qualities, which I think we've seen in pieces over many, many years, but have never before all come together in one powerful combination, which is how she's dealt with her illness, and it's also how she created OurBrainBank. You know, I often think to myself, if I was given a GBM diagnosis, I'd lie in a darkened room and sort of feel sorry for myself. And what does she do? She you know, created this international, extraordinary, not-for-profit, which is doing exceptional work, and she's written a memoir, which, you know, should be coming out in August. So yeah, every morning I feel, you know, Martha wakes up and feels amazed. Every morning I wake up and feel exhausted by how Jessica's responded, which is, you know, so in contrast to how I would deal with it. And I'm constantly and forever more impressed and in awe of how she's dealing with, you know, a very brutal condition. She is having a hard time at the moment. We're speaking to her doctor this afternoon, so yeah, you know, not one of those touch wood moments, but she's still, you know, as strong and as committed and as positive as she ever has been.
Great, thank you, Ed. And I'll understand if you have to leave, because I know you are a busy person. I will call on some other people, and then after I think everyone's spoken, I will give you an introductory presentation about OurBrainBank, including what the most up-to-date information on what we're doing. We've been talking to some absolutely amazing research scientists, doctors, neuro-oncologists, neurosurgeons, and data scientists. There's a lot going on. Why don't I just go in order? Haley, are you comfortable saying something? You got to unmute yourself.
Hi, I'm Hallie Haney, and I want to send my love to Jessica and thank you for the 5 years of inspiration that you've shared with me. And as we've cheered each other on every inch of the way, it's just been an amazing journey, and you should be so proud of everything you've done.
That was great, Haley. Thank you. Oh, and here's a pro tip I just learned from my kid. If you are muted and you hit the space bar, you can talk and then just let go of the space bar. Alice, would you like to say something?
Hi, everyone. Yeah, so Jessie's my auntie. So I've been obviously following everything she's been doing at OurBrainBank for the last 5 years. And I'm just amazed at how far it's come on, and it's been an incredible journey. I couldn't be prouder for her to be my auntie. I think she's amazing, and I love you very much, Jessie.
Oh, thank you. That was sweet. And also, I will tout Alice's horn a little bit. And she and her boyfriend climbed Mount Kilimanjaro last year and raised more than $5,000 via a GoFundMe campaign. So thank you again, Alice. I think you are our #1 fundraiser at this point. So thank you. Bratton, would you like to say something?
Yes, I wanted to say, Jessica, you've been in my prayers every day for 4 years. And Hallie, you are too.
Thank you.
So it really is just nice to have people that are on a similar spiritual journey as you. And you certainly, early in my journey, you certainly helped me. And you've been somewhat of a role model for me that I'd like to help others. So bless you. You've done a lot of good, and you've certainly given me hope, and I hope I pass that along to others. So bless you, and I pray for your healing and peace every day.
Thank you, Bratton. That was beautiful. Hannah, if you want to say something. And funny story, Hannah and I, we met here online, and we both discovered that we are big Grateful Dead fans. And there is, as you know, gray is the color for Brain Tumor Awareness Month. And there's a Grateful Dead song that says, every silver lining has a touch of gray. We will get by. We will survive. So I think Hannah and I share. Actually, it's not my favorite Dead song.
Amen. Amen. And I appreciate you giving that to me as an introduction, because in talking about Jessica, she is a sugar magnolia. And I just want to, I have so much gratitude because I was diagnosed last January of 2020. And after my surgery, people had talked about her, and I got on the telephone and she spoke to me. So this was so new for me, that what I was going through, and I appreciate, and I have massive gratitude for her sharing her information, making me feel positive about things that they're working on. And of course, the Brain Bank organization, I think, is so wonderful. And I also had volunteered to try to help out with my marketing background. I wasn't always focused on that during my procedures and stuff. But anyway, I just want to say, Jessica, thank you. Sending you much love and light and healing and massive gratitude.
Thank you, Hannah. That was so nice. That was great. Rachel?
Hi there. My name is Rachel Kittleson, and Jessica, I got to know you as someone who works for the National Brain Tumor Society, and I just want to say, in the past year, getting to know you, getting to know the OurBrainBank organization has been a tremendous gift for me. And you should know that the work you have done with OurBrainBank, with the app, and also with the GBM Bill of Rights has been just huge for the GBM community. And I see the impact of the work that you have done all the time. And I'm just so very grateful that I, get to work with this organization and partner with you. And I know that the work you've done has meant an awful lot to National Brain Tumor Society. So thank you truly for your dedication and for truly the inspiration that you give this entire community.
Thank you, Rachel. And we love working with, I encourage everyone, if you're not already involved with the National Brain Tumor Society, they are an excellent organization full of compassionate, caring, competent people who want to help you, and they will help you for free. Rachel's a great representative of that. And also I'll give a plug for the GBM Awareness Day. You're doing an event, Rachel. You want to talk about that for a minute?
Yeah, our GBM Awareness Day is scheduled for Wednesday, July 21st. And as a matter of fact, we are just, kind of getting underway with our plans, but we plan for it to be as robust as it has been in the past, to really bring to light the needs of this community, not only to ourselves, but also to Congress, so that, we ensure the fact that the needs and what our community goes through is top of mind for them as they champion for us on the Hill.
Great, thank you. So I think we have some newcomers, but we also have some old friends. I think Mindy, is that you? Would you like to say something?
Yes, hi. You can't see my picture, can you? Oh, sorry. Can you hear me?
We can hear you fine, thank you.
Okay. Well, I started the group when my sister Amy was diagnosed with GBM almost 4 years ago. Unfortunately, she has passed. It'll be, gosh, I can't even think, 2 or 3 years since she passed. But as far as Jessica, what I can say to her, she's the first person that I thought of to talk to Amy. My sister was in complete denial up until the day that she passed away. And Amy reached out to Jessica after I reached out to Jessica, and her voice, her care, her tone, her knowledge is just unbelievable. So all I can say is that the group, sometimes I feel like I can't be on it for several reasons. Something's going on. But when I do go on, Jessica, I always follow Jessica. I follow you, Martha. And I just want to say, keep doing what you're doing, because you are absolutely a godsend to not only the actual GBM patient. Aren't we all patients though when they're going through this, but family members. And I thank you.
Well, you're very welcome, Mindy. For me professionally, this has been, Jessica's my friend as well as my colleague, but this has been the most rewarding professional point in my career. This is my third career, but it's the first time I really felt like I was part of something absolutely incredible and taking a role that doing something this.
You're great at it.
Thank you. Anyone else want to speak? Okay, so I'm Lori.
Hello, I'm Laureline. I'm coming here for the first time. Thank you very much for the event, for inviting me. I live in Japan, and I met Jessica at the IBTA summit in 2009, just 1.5 years ago. And it's the middle of my night. I would never join, but this time I attend some meeting in the US, and then I'm making an effort. I'm so happy to meet you. And then, if I can say something to Jessica, I would, this is really something I really would like to do. Yes, Jessica, you are such a model. I met you in Washington, and we had an amazing good time together. I represent brain tumor patient in Japan, and we talked so much. You inspired me so much. I even put your face on my your very beautiful face and happy face on my Facebook name. You're such an impressive woman, and I keep thinking of you all the time. And my dream is to bring our brain bank abroad. I know it's in UK and the US. I guess it's evolving because I'm far away, so I don't see everything. But I think it's a really, really, really amazing thing that you have achieved, and I'm always thinking of you.
Thank you. That's beautiful, and it's so nice to meet you, because we do want to reach out. We have 20 people from 24 different countries in our Facebook group, but no one from Japan. May I ask, are you a carer, or are you living with GBM? Are you a nonprofit?
Okay, I am on my brain bank. I will put it going now. I am a grade 3. I'm not a GBM. So I'm thinking it's the next, it's where I'm going to. It's a question of time. And then I represent I represent GBM patient because I'm the face of Japan Brain Tumor Alliance. So I talk like you are all together. I do that kind of meetings with Japanese GBM patients. So that's why it's very interesting to see how you deal with it in the US, and then I can see how I can learn and then deal with it and then support more people in Japan or in Asia.
Great. Well, let's be in touch. You can email me at martha@ourbrainbank.org. That's MARTHA at ourbrainbank.org. And because I would love to talk to you more. We are looking at next steps for our pilot study. And so, you know, we definitely want to reach out to people, especially we had an interesting conversation with someone in Japan recently who works with Novacure with Optune, you know, the
Ishikawa, the guy Ishikawa.
yeah. And so he's saying it's very hard to just get the word out in Japan. So I definitely would like to talk to you.
Yeah, let's talk together. We can see how, you know, how to manage this kind of things.
Great, great. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Would anyone else like to speak about Jessica? Go ahead.
Hi, we're Harry and Lindsay. We're old friends of Ed and Jess's from their England days, actually. Wasn't expecting to say anything, but really would like to just say, fantastic. Keep going. We love you, and it's been amazing. We've been following everything about our brain bank sort of remotely, you know, feeling a bit helpless and watching all you guys doing so well. And Ed and Jess, much love to you.
Yeah, lots of love and
Thank you.
admiration.
Anyone else? Don't feel pressured because I have a presentation I'm going to.
Hi, this is Elizabeth Petrolia. I have not met Jessica in person. My contact has been a little bit more remote, but I just wanted to comment about an article. My first time to see Jessica's name was from a New York Times article called "We Are Living with Brain Cancer, and Here's How Biden Could Help Us." It was written in August of 2020. And that's the first time I saw Jessica's name and read an article that she wrote. And it was just wonderful to see someone advocating for getting our leaders to try to pay attention to this issue and how it can hit home. And from there, I tried to read everything about her. And just, Jessica, thank you. Thank you for writing that article. Thank you for drawing attention to this issue and for everything that you do. But it really was a great moment for me to read that and see someone advocating for that level of attention to this issue.
Great, thank you, thank you. Anyone else?
I just want to offer some words of encouragement. You know, when you go through times of seizure, Jessica, and I know it feels like a setback, but you know, there are times that you come back, and a lot of us really know how you feel because I've had to go on the sedative, and it just is, but blessings to you, and we all love you.
Thank you, Bratton. That's very nice. If there's no one else, I'm going to present a deck, and some of this will be information you all know very well. And feel free to jump in if you have any questions. Some parts I'll go quicker than others, and there is a little video of Jessica, so we will see a little bit of her beautiful smiling face and her lovely voice. So just give me a minute to do the awkward share screen thing. And of course, it doesn't come up. Hold on. Oh, you'd think I would know how to do this by now. One more time. Here we go. Okay, so as you all know, our mission is to move glioblastoma from terminal to treatable, powered by patients. And Jessica started this nonprofit. She was diagnosed in 2016. She did not take this sitting down, and she asked her doctors, what do you need? And the researchers, some of her doctors are academic researchers, what do you need to move the needle on this? Jessica is now officially a 5-year survivor, and only, as you all know, only 5% of people do that.
Hello, my name's Jessica Morris, and I'm banking on our brain bank because I'm banking on being around for many years to come. I was diagnosed with glioblastoma 2 years ago. Our brain bank is a sound investment because it helps patients manage their disease day by day through inputting their symptoms onto the OurBrainBank app. But it also really helps us knowing that our data will be analyzed and researched and used by some of the finest medical minds in the world to fast track understanding of glioblastoma, better treatments, and ultimately a cure. And when we crack glioblastoma, because it's one of the hardest cancers, we will make inroads into ridding the world of cancer.
So you can see Jessica is, not at all ambitious. She wants to rid the world of cancer. Oops,
Hello,
sorry.
my name's Jessica
I haven't
Morris.
quite mastered how to get to the next slide. Okay. This is a member of our community. I'll just give you a minute to read this. She is very angry about that there are no good treatments. There have been very few new treatments in the last 20 years. And that's true. It does make absolutely no sense. We can spend billions and trillions of dollars on our defense budget and not on cancer research. Here's a young man, Patrick. I'm sorry he couldn't join us today. He's a really funny guy. If you don't follow him on Facebook, I suggest it. He also writes on Medium. He's hilarious and he's very darkly funny, but very funny. And I'll just give you a minute to read this. So I love that because I love the sea monsters and Jessica, the way she says, hello, hello. She's so nice. Here are the grim statistics for GBM and famous people on the right. I think you probably recognize it's Mary Shelley, George Gershwin, and John McCain, Ted Kennedy. The center bottom is Tessa Jowell, who's English, Beau Biden on the bottom left. The center left is actor Sam Bottoms, who was in Apocalypse Now. And he was actually a family friend of my husband's and was at our wedding. So the OurBrainBank, the study using the app started in 2018. And the idea was that people would track their health indicators every day. And then that would help them day to day because they could be mindful. Am I getting enough sleep? Am I eating properly? Am I exercising? And then the data would be donated anonymously for research. You pick different things to track depending on what you're particularly interested in. It has a lot of features. There's reminders. You can graph the results of your data that you've entered and show it to your healthcare provider. We did find, I'll just go back for a second. We did find, even though there's all these features on the right, there are games that test neurological function. There's diary, medication reminders, but we found we did a lot. This year has been a very interesting year. It's a bit of a turning point for OurBrainBank. And we're looking at what we're going to do next, how we can better serve both the people living with GBM and people doing GBM research. So we're thinking of next steps. And if anyone has ideas, we would love to, we have a patient advisory board. Bratton, you're on that. I welcome anyone who's interested. And then, so we said our pilot study has been a success, but how can we now collect more and better data? And then how can we help other people collecting data to collaborate and share that data? We found with conversations with both pharmaceutical companies, with academic researchers, they talk about silos, and these silos of information and data, there's a ton of data out there. And this is all, can happen now just in the last few years because of technology. So it's really, really interesting that Jessica started this at this particular time, because there is a huge movement with people sharing data, with people taking control of their data and collaborating and sharing it. So we're looking at what to do next. There's a lot of interesting ideas out there. There's really unconventional ideas. There's a a researcher we met with Harvard Medical School. He's a neurosurgeon, a PhD in data science, and a master's in public health. And he's collecting data on GBM patients using just passive use of their cell phone. So they've consented into his study. And then he can tell by, how much sleep they're getting, how much they're walking, how quickly they respond to texts. He doesn't read the text, but it's all automated. And then they can use machine learning, artificial intelligence to look at this data and see how people are doing. And the big puzzle with GBM is always, why does one person respond to the treatment really well and the next person doesn't? So we're all about personalized medicine and finding what will help each person. A model we use is the AIDS HIV movement, where they took what was a terminal death sentence and they changed it into a livable condition such as diabetes. So that's our model. We have presented at conferences. Here's the Society of Neuro-Oncology. That's the, two of the doctors on our medical advisory team. They're with Jessica and our principal investigator, Kelly Dupre. Since we launched in 2018, we have more than 700 people engaged in our study. We launched in the UK. We've built awareness about GBM. We've conducted surveys. We've published the potential of patient power, and we've worked with other brain cancer nonprofits. Here's another little video of Jessica.
Hello, everybody. Guess what? I'm 4 years old today. I mean, my tumor's 4 years old. January the 23rd, 2016, when I was hiking in upstate New York, and I suddenly had a seizure. And for some reason, I feel incredibly happy. I feel incredibly happy to still be alive and to have had some incredible treatments and to be enjoying life. And I wanted to share that with you, and I wanted to say a thank you because of all the things I've done. I've done buckets of chemotherapy. I've done loads of radiation. I'm now on this herpes trial, so I'm full of bits of adapted herpes virus. Very, very odd. I've had 3 surgeries, millions of MRIs, all sorts of agonies, all sorts of fears. But guess what? I'm really happy because I love life. It's made me more aware of how fantastic life is. And I'm happy because I know that the determination that I and you and that all of us affected by this disease, whether we are a patient or whether we are a partner or whether we're with a family, whether it's my husband, Ed, or my kids, Felix, Tess, and Emma, or even the dog, Jazzy, we're all together as a team. This disease doesn't just affect one of us, it affects all of us. And if we can hold together and use our love and determination to do our best for each other, it's an incredible feeling. I feel like I'm living life on the sharp edge. And while it's horrible, and I wish this had never happened to me, it has. So I've got to deal with it, and I am. And I'm very proud of being able to deal with it every single day. But the only way I can deal with it is with all of you. And I hope that I can provide you some help too. And I really hope, this is my unashamed 4th anniversary bit where I'm going to go a bit nuts. Honestly, please, if you haven't, please check out our brain bank, because the way we're going to defeat this disease at scale, basically we have to have an awful lot of people with glioblastoma in one space, sharing our ideas, sharing our determination to do our best for ourselves and our loved ones. And our brain bank allows that. And do that with other organizations, and together we shall, and we bloody well will, overcome.
Oops, sorry. I love that. She recorded that on Martin Luther King Jr. Day. One of our big advocacy efforts this past year has been the Glioblastoma Bill of Rights. And we developed this based on a survey we did in 2019. And we got more than 400 responses. And we asked people, what did you get a second opinion? Do you get psychological support? Were you told information about having to contribute to research? And so based on the questions that we asked and answers that we got, we came up with this Glioblastoma Bill of Rights. So we are always pushing this out, getting information out to people. I just this morning had a long conversation with a woman whose husband has GBM. And she said, I didn't know to get a second opinion. I didn't know he didn't need surgery right away. I didn't know about personalized care. So we're really trying to get the word out there. We worked with several, you can see all the other organizations we've worked with. So we get a lot of amazing support on this effort. And I encourage everyone to join us with the National Brain Tumor Society on July 21st, 2021 for the next GBM Awareness Day. We got a great social media. I think you all probably know about this. I need to update this. We actually have a TikTok channel now, and we have Tiltify, which is fundraising if people are gamers. And so please join us on all of these. Obviously, you know about these calls. We do them once a month. We often have experts on. We have some really good ones coming up. We have someone from Novacure, and we have someone from a company that has started an online clinical trial matching service that uses artificial intelligence. So that's really exciting. And of course, there some of you are. I can see Hannah, you, and who else? I guess that's maybe it. Lynn couldn't come today. So we're really working with people all the time. As was mentioned earlier, there's Jessica's brilliant op-ed. She's actually had 2. And other articles. If anyone has any media contacts and can ever help us with getting the word out about our brain bank and the Glioblastoma Bill of Rights, please contact me. And we always want help with that. We have won awards. We go to conferences. You can see on the upper right, this was actually a conference Jessica attended with her daughter. And we didn't find out until we literally saw on the website a year later that they were using her as the literal poster child for the family conference. So that was very nice. Oh, sorry, going back a minute. On the lower right, you can see Jessica spoke at the first Glioblastoma Drug Development Summit, and one of our board members spoke at the second one. And it was funny, organizers contacted Jessica and said, oh, we want to invite you to this event. And she looked at it, the speakers, and she said, well, where's the patient voice in this? And they said, oh gosh, you're right, we should have someone. Do you have someone in mind? And she said, me. So she got she opened the whole conference. Here are our advisors. You can see a very important, these are all the top people working in GBM at places like Harvard, Columbia, Dana-Farber, Memorial Sloan Kettering, and they're wonderful. They give us their time and they come to meetings and they answer emails and they do voices calls. They're very, very impressive, and they're all very caring, compassionate people. This is our board. And they're also very wonderful. And we have several people either living with GBM or caretakers, caregivers, care partners. These are our corporate supporters. And again, join us on social media. We're all over everything. And we always, we welcome, if you want to make a video for our YouTube channel, we would welcome that. So if you want to write to me, you can write Martha at OurBrainBank.org, or the general is info@OurBrainBank.org. Okay, sorry, that was kind of a monologue. Does anyone have questions?
I guess if there's anything I can do, you guys let me know. I can't drive anymore, but if I can do it from home. And yeah, Tim Scott has brunch up the road from me a couple days a month. I see him. If y'all have something you want me to tell him, I can do it.
Yeah, who's that? Sorry.
He's our senator.
Oh, your senator. Okay.
He's the first Black Republican senator since Reconstruction. So that's who he is. And he takes his mother to brunch up the road from me every other week.
Okay. Well, let me think about that, because does he know about GBM Awareness Day?
He knows I have it. He calls and checks on me.
Oh, he does. That's nice. That's nice.
Yeah. So, but I haven't really had anything specifically to bring up with him.
Right. Okay. Well, let's talk about that separately, Brad, because maybe there's.
Okay. No, just anything I can do, and if you set me up with the press, they like me here. I do stuff for for the Head for the Cure. I'm their spokesperson, but I can change up what I'm talking about.
Okay. Well, maybe we can hook something up for Glioblastoma Awareness Day. One thing we want to do, we have a spot on the National Brain Tumor Society. They're going to do a virtual event this year. So our dream would be to get a celebrity to read the GBM Bill of Rights. So if anyone knows anyone famous who has any kind of actually doesn't even need to have a connection to GBM if they have a connection to you. So, you know, let me know if you know someone, because it would be great to get, you know, Tom Cruise or somebody to, not that I love Tom Cruise, but someone like that to
What if I could ask Cal Ripken, how would that be?
Oh, that'd be great. You know him?
Yeah, I haven't talked to him in a while, but we were partners on a business deal.
Oh, okay. He's famous. Okay, let's talk about that. Let's talk about that later.
I'll find out if he'd be willing to do it. Okay.
Thank you. Hi, Richard. I didn't see you. I'm so nice to see you. How's Jana doing? This is our board member, Richard Clemau. Oh, you're muted.
Yeah, she's doing okay, thank you. And I'm sorry to join late. I got caught up with something else.
No, that's fine. We've been recording at the beginning. We recorded messages for Jessica. If you feel comfortable, you want to just say a few words?
Yeah, I'm delighted to say some words. I mean, we have talked to Jessica and Ed every now and again over the last year or so, and it's always a very important conversation for us because we know that they're experiencing things like us, and it feels better to be able to share those things and talk about them together. It shares some of the pain, some of the joy as well. So it's always great to speak to Jessica and Ed, and Jana and I wish Jessica all the very, very best. We love her dearly.
Oh, thank you. That's so nice. Oh, actually, Richard, I have a practical question for you. It comes up all the time. People want to know about Optune in the UK, and as I understand it, there was a limited use a few years ago, but that ended officially in 2000.
No, I can update you on that because there are many people using Optune, but there are some. Previously, it was run through Optune's European operation, and Jana had Optune people coming from Spain and Italy to help provide it. But actually Optune in the last month or so have just appointed their first UK rep. So they are moving into the UK in a bigger way. There are only 2 doctors in the UK who can prescribe Optune. One of them is Jana's oncologist. But yeah, I mean, if anyone wants to know about Optune in the UK, I can certainly help with that.
Great, thank you. And I emailed them, and they getting back to me. But I was just thought because you obviously have personal knowledge.
I can give you the contact of the newly appointed rep.
Right, and then because people would say things like, I mean, I understand how the NHS doesn't want to pay for it, and people understand that. But then people are saying, oh, it's not licensed. Is there some UK equivalent of the FDA that would?
There is, and it's not true that it's not licensed. It was considered by what is effectively the equivalent to the FDA, an organization called NICE, National Institute for Clinical Excellence, and they decided, but their judgment is not about whether something can be used, but about whether it will be paid for within the social medicine NHS network. And they decided that the cost of Optune was too great to justify the benefit. There are always difficult decisions about new medicines, new treatments, and whether they can be justified. So it's available for, it can be discussed through people's private insurance or directly with Optune, but it won't be funded by the National Health Service.
Great, thank you. Yeah, that's good news that if they're at least starting again. And then in terms of our next steps as our brain bank, we want to hear from you, and you don't have to say now. You can email me, or we could discuss it later. You can even write it in the chat. If we look at what would help you day to day, is it helpful to record your health indicators? Is it helpful to be able to meet other people who are in the same boat. One person we've talked to who is a young man who is living with GBM, and he works for a pregnancy app, and they have a peer-to-peer support component where, on your phone, you can find someone who is, either recently diagnosed or long-term survivor, whatever, and then they help each other, and it's very, very popular. So that's something we think might be interesting. And also, what would help you in terms of talking to your medical team? I know people are often intimidated and they find it difficult, so we want to make it as easy as possible for people to have these discussions and say how they've been feeling over the last month or week or year, whatever it is. So anyone else, or should we just shift over to general support conversation? Yes, Haley, I think you had some good news recently, right, with the scan? Oh, no, Haley, not here. Unmute yourself, Haley, if you want to talk. Or Bratton, you've used the OurBrainBank app. Do you have any suggestions of what we might be more useful?
Well, it helps me in the sense that I swipe it. When I swipe it, I don't. A couple times I've had seizures. That's the only negative I ever feel.
Mm-hmm.
If anybody knows me, I already monitor my body fat every day, my glucose, my ketones, my eating, and I measure everything. So this does help in that sense, that I monitor everything so much for my nutritionist.
Mm-hmm.
I'm pretty much, but it's nice to swipe it off and say, I had another good day. That's nice.
Yeah, that's part of the mindfulness aspect.
And I would add that is meditated, or I get challenged to meditate or pray 5 times a day. And if I don't, that's really when I feel the biggest difference.
Mm-hmm.
Is maybe it might be nice to have that. Did you find a period for mindfulness? And I think it's less important, if you're, Jewish or Buddhist. I'm Christian by faith, but I'm less of. I think it's more the discipline in doing it and being present. And I think it's if you live in fear, it's harder to heal.
Mm-hmm.
That's my take. It might still come back on me.
Yeah.
And I know that every day, but I don't live in fear of it.
That's good. That's good.
So, well, the priest I met right before I went under the knife said, you're probably going to die soon. And he says, how do you want to make it? And I said, I want to make it the best going away tour I could possibly have. And that was, going on 4.5 years ago. And it's been a great going away tour. But I wrote everybody letters, and it's just very spiritual every day. And I think that's maybe something you can add to the app is it really helps me. I don't know how anybody else feels, but I think spirituality is very helpful.
Yeah. Yeah. And is there a specific meditation app, your mindfulness app you're using for that?
No. Believe it or not, at MD Anderson, they were going through a trial, and they put me on it because they thought I'd be up to it, where I had a yoga teacher. And I did yoga 3 days a week while I was going through chemo and radiation. And it was yin yoga. I wasn't like doing headstands or anything, but so it's not very hard for me to meditate. And really, this is one thing I will say is if you meditate with someone else, it's easier because it's peer pressure. But I just go out and watch the sunrise, or I go to church and sit there. And people see me. I sit on the hill in the park, either sunrise or sunset. I'm that strange guy that sits there.
Yeah.
And people come and say hey to me, and I get prayer requests all the time. I have about 130 people on my prayer list, and I get people come up and ask me. I had a African American family ask me, somebody had gotten hurt, and I added them to my list. And they're still on it. I only met them that one time, but and it's kind of nice. But it's once you get doing it, it's not hard, but it's hard to get started. Does that make sense?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Yeah. But it is really good. One of the researchers we work with is actually, she's doing a whole study on mindfulness for people with cancer, not just GBM, but any kind of cancer. So there's a real, it's something that scientists are studying. One of the people, so we've been talking recently, looking at our next steps. There's so many people doing really interesting work now. And there was one for a different kind of cancer, multiple myeloma. And this person who actually has it himself, he started a company, and it's not an app, it's a portal, but it's a study also. So it's similar to us in that it's helping people day to day and also contributing data for research. And the one thing that he does is, or his app does is it collects, you give permission for the app to collect your electronic health record, or your EMR, your EHR, directly from your treating doctors. And then you can just carry it around on your phone. So if you have, say, probably, people might have 3, 4, 5 different doctors, and they have all that information, handy, right at hand. Would that be something interesting, helpful for people?
Sorry, it's Laureline. I don't see if it makes sense. I thought I'm from Japan, but what you're saying looks really, really exciting. If I could push that here in Japan, that would be good. It's very good to hear from what you're doing. I think you are so much advanced in gathering so much information through this kind of app is really amazing. Related to that, I had one question. It's about, I was wondering, in the US, do you do a lot of genome profiling or sequencing? Because it's so, I heard like Jessica, she did the herpes vaccine and all of that. I wonder, in Japan, it's very expensive to get it done. And I wonder if you here, how active are you in all of these trials? And, are you all aware of your mutations and all of that?
Well, we definitely encourage people to get it. And here in the US, it depends if your insurance will cover it. But we always encourage people to get the kind of testing done, the tumor analysis. And that's also part of our GBM Bill of Rights, is that everyone should get this regardless of how much money you have. And it's very interesting when we have conversations with people outside the US, because in a way, the US is great. We've got great doctors here. We've got all the pharmaceutical companies, device biotech, they're doing the R&D. But on the other hand, if you don't have insurance, you're going to have problems. And then so in most of the rest of the world, you're covered by National Health Service, nationalized health. But then you have in the UK, they don't pay for Optune. So it's really interesting to see the difference.
They don't routinely pay for genome analysis either.
Oh, they don't? Okay.
No.
How about, has anyone else had it done in the US? Insurance covered it?
I think it's $3,000 to get the whole thing done. For the people I don't know that has anybody else gotten the full? Because in MD Anderson, it was just like, are you methylated or not? And there are a couple others. But to get the people I know that got the full spectrum, I think it's either 3,000 or 5,000. Anybody else on this call gotten it?
I got this. They did the pathology. I have a friend who lives in Ohio, and she wanted to know whether I was methylated or not. But my insurance did cover that. And I also had gotten tested because my brother had this and my first cousin. So they did some test to see whether or not it was running in my family. It's not the same as like breast cancer where you have the what's it called, that
BRCA.
BRCA. I didn't test positive for that BRCA, but I'm like, come on, they have to do some more research to figure out other things. But I also did that. I used my insurance for that. But my husband is the one who adds things up. I don't pay attention to those things. I'm sorry. I like to spend the money and he likes to count it. But sorry, that's just who I am.
Yeah, it's definitely something that everyone should get, and I think as the technology improves, I hope it will become less expensive. Laureline, how much is it in Japan? If you can do that in your head quickly, I don't know.
Yeah, I think in fact the good, I see when I compare with you, Richard, and then with what you in the US, it costs 2,000, something like 2,000 US dollar. Because in fact it's they also have their own, we also have another panel, and then in general if we pay the full money it would cost 6,000. So we pay like around 1/3 of it is paid by the government. So it looks like it's, yeah, it's, if you don't, if it's not it's about the same as if, oh no, it's more expensive than if you Anna, you manage to get the insurance. And then for Richard, I'm sorry, it's I think I really feel like they put the burden on patient while so many researchers are using it, but by making these limitations, it's slowing down research.
Right, exactly. And we're all about speeding up research. The app I mentioned earlier for multiple myeloma, they are outside of the traditional ethics board approval process. And this is something that seems radical at the beginning when I learned about it, but I'm learning there are many people doing this, even in an academic setting. So if for our next steps with collecting data, if we go outside of that review process, then that would allow us to collect data from anyone in any country, probably age 13, either 13 or 16 up, depending on the local laws. So that would be something, because nobody's collecting GBM data, treatments and outcomes and tumor types internationally. No one's doing that. We could start doing that, which is really powerful. And we're also talking to people who are starting efforts to connect all the siloed data, and that's also very promising, right? Okay, we're getting up on 1 o'clock. Does anyone want to share anything else? No? Yes, Hannah?
I just wanted to say, well, I know we're here because of Jessica, but I also want to say I did get my MRI in March and it was clear. So this has been something that I'm extremely grateful for. And, I'm still wearing this. I joke that this is my ball and chain and my thumb sucker to give me some sense of relaxation, because I'm terrified. It's terrifying. If I didn't have this, I feel like my anxiety would be through the roof. So anyway, I'm just grateful that things have been well. So.
Yeah, and Hannah, you should, and Hannah and Barbara, anyone who's doing Optune, we will have a chat coming up. We weren't able to, and we have to do it again. We had one pretty recently, but we didn't get the lawyers to approve the question and answer period. So we're going to do it again. But I found their presentation absolutely convincing when they show the side-by-side in vitro Petri dishes and the cells being treated with the tumor treating fields and the cells not being treated side by side. It was absolutely convincing. And then, so we will be doing that. We'll just stop the recording during the question and answer period so we don't get in trouble with the lawyers. It's so silly. I think the thing they didn't like is Lynn had this great hack for the bag. She said, oh, you get a leather bag, you get grommets put in, and it was like a good practical hack and fashionable because it would let the air circulate so you don't get it overheated. But I think they get very nervous about that. Yeah. Okay. All right. So I think I'm going to say goodbye. I think Richard, you want to stay on for a minute and we'll have a discussion. But thank you, everyone. This is great. I think Jessica is going to love this. And if
Can you just take a group picture if you don't
oh
mind?
yeah, great, good idea. Hold on. That's an excellent idea. Let me just close the chat. So I encourage everyone to stay in touch. Here, everyone smile, smile. Okay, ready? Hold on, smile. Yay. Okay, great. I'll put that on our social media. So so come back next month. And if you ever, if anyone ever has ideas, if you want a special expert to come on, like Bratton, we've talked about your nutritionist come on. And,
yeah, I'll ask her again. And Lenore Renda. And yeah, she lives in Phoenix, but that's where my daughter lives. So I'll try to see her in a couple months. Oh, one thing I want to say is for anybody that lives by themselves, the Apple Watch, I fell down and it asked me if I was okay. And
wow.
It calls my family if I go into seizure.
Wow.
So I'm going to recommend, versus have I fallen, I can't get up. This is at least a cool way to do it. And it monitors all my stuff. So if something happens, it lets my family know. So this is something that's good for anybody that's living alone.
That's great, Bratton. That's really good to know. And you know what? I should have mentioned this before, because one of the people we started a conversation with, well, not people, company, but we started talking to Apple. They actually have a program where if you're running a clinical trial, they will give free Apple Watches to everyone on the trial. I know. So that's another thing, wearables, a lot of research going on. Okay, bye, Laurleen. Thank you. Nice meeting you. Really interesting research with wearables and passively collected data, because then you don't have to do anything. Although, we like to think that doing something and being mindful of doing something helps too. So we're thinking of lots of different ideas, and we might end up doing different things. We might have our OurBrainBank study using Apple Watches. We might have an OurBrainBank study using passively collected data. We might have a mindfulness app. We might have something where you carry your medical records with you. So there's a lot of really interesting ideas. Okay, Thank you, everyone. And Richard, do stay on. Okay, thank you, everyone.